Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for all Lawrence's nightmares and school.
Yep, all those.
Wow.
That is exactly what you're here for, my nightmare. And our guest today is someone who is not my nightmare, but adjacent, Landon Noll.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon your time zone latitude. And I hope you folks are doing well and that you've thoroughly recovered from the beginning of the First Chronicles.
So, Landon, how does it feel to know that your entire life you've just been a character in Lawrence's nightmare?
It gives me purpose.
Wonderful.
All right. Good.
And I hear everyone's looking for purpose, so I'm glad to be able to give purpose to somebody.
Especially Chris.
What?
No, that's the worst.
Okay, so today, what announcements do we have?
If you guys haven't seen it, first of all, I suggest watching the Egyptian Afterlife video and the Dan Seavey video, Lake Michigan's Pirate. And
Yes.
I know that pirate videos don't really get all that many views on this channel.
Yar.
I just think pirates are interesting.
It's history. You should know this. Such things.
We obviously, since the semester is almost over, it's over for me. It's not over for Ruben.
Not over for me yet.
Yeah, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
So after that, we're going to do the esoteric Nazism video, and the demon summoning. And that is, honestly, those are all the announcements.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then I guess we might as well get started.
Oh, Alchemy Drive.
Yeah, the Alchemy Drive. That is at $104.29.
All right.
And this is to turn what into what?
Whatever into gold. See, the thing is, Ruben wants to get like a nuclear reactor and start turning things to gold.
Particle accelerator doesn't
Sorry. Particle accelerator and start turning things
My
into gold.
goodness.
I want to try it the old-fashioned, classic magic way.
Oh, well.
And I want to try the ultra-futuristic way using polarized laser lenses and high-energy photons.
You can always use a supernova.
Yeah, like one of those.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to use a supernova.
Yeah, let's use that.
We're going to harness the energy of a supernova.
Okay, we need a really big slingshot.
They get gold in the first place. But
I thought it was from hypernovae or whatever.
So anyway, and I hope the chat is doing well. As you know, I'm banned from Twitter for life, and so I'm merely here in the afterlife.
Oh man, I'm sorry. This has got to suck.
Wow.
So we can hop right into the 100-point show.
Yes, the 100-point show.
Yeah.
Why don't you start off with your 100-point question?
Great. My 100-point show question is, what is the first ever gaming system? Yeah, that's right.
What
this
do
one
you
isn't-
define as a gaming system?
I don't know what regular people would define as a gaming system. See, the interesting thing is that this is not a wrestling question.
Wow.
Do you mean home
Gaming
gaming
system. I mean, are you talking like games like, for example, the Rolling the Bones, that sort of thing?
An electronic gaming system.
Oh, electronic gaming system. Oh.
Yeah.
I know the game that was played on it, and I'm
could I
going to
suggest
guess. But
Pong?
yeah, it's Pong, but I think it's an Atari game. I don't know. TV Atari?
Well,
was that it?
Because that's a game. That's not the first.
No, the
system.
console is called the TV Atari.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Probably wrong.
the first electronic game that people could have at home were personal calculators. Nintendo has gone on record to say that their Game & Watch games were inspired by people playing around with personal calculators on the subway. It is the original electronic gaming system.
Okay, that's not gonna go.
correct.
But good try though. So was your answer the Atari, Landon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the Pong.
It was apparently the something Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Rachel.
Oh, the
got it.
Magnavox Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, I forgot that name.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, well, here's my 100-point question. There were some people on a train. 19 people get off the train at the first stop.
Is this a math question?
17 people get on the train. Now there are 63 people on the train. How many people were on the train to begin with? This is simple.
It's just a math question?
Yeah.
Oh my
It's just
God.
a math question.
That's a horrible 100-point show question.
Mhm.
Fucking repeat
So
it.
you're saying that 19 people get off the train.
Then 17 people get on,
on the train.
Okay, so 65.
and then there's 63.
Okay, so 65.
And there are now 63.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I believe you're trying to. So if there were, for example, just make sure I understand. If we had 61 people, right, and 19 people were to leave the train, you'd have 42.
Mhm.
And then when you add 17 back, you would get 59. See, so you want us to trick us into saying that there are, again, if you had 65 people originally and 19 leave and 17 come back on, then you'd have 63.
Yes. Well, you're correct.
Yeah, yay.
Good
Lawrence
job, Landon.
was not correct.
I
The answer is not 63.
didn't say
That
63.
is
Whatever.
65. But
All right.
I thought there was a more of a trick question. Well, my 100-point question, and also it's open to the chat that's in the for life, since I'm in the afterlife of YouTube, is what is the largest banknote ever used by the Bank of England?
For the
Of
Bank
England?
of England.
Yes.
Is it? See, I think it's.
I could give you a hint.
Does it have something to do with 100? Because these usually have themes.
Well, it is a 100-point show. Now, let me give you a hint, if you don't mind, unless someone in the chat knows it.
Can I guess?
Okay, anyone? Yes, sure.
100,000 pounds note.
Oh. So there are only 40 in existence.
Oh,
of these.
100 million pound note.
Oh, I got it. 100 to the 100th power.
that's not helpful.
It's
Well,
a lot of money.
The correct answer, and awarding 100 points, is a 100 million pound note.
What?
They were used internally, so you were correct. They were used internally at the Bank of England. There's only 40 in existence.
Wow.
That sounds like entirely too much money on a.
That seems like it's pointless to even produce the note. You should just be like,
Well-
I have 100 million pounds.
This was internal bank transfers before you had electronic fund transfers.
Right.
And so you had similar things of the Federal Reserve in the U.S. having things like $100,000 notes and so forth. Pre-electronic transfers, they made these very high-value bills.
Well,
It's entirely too high value. But
can I borrow one?
You can ask the Bank of England.
I promise I'll give it back later.
I'm sure they're busy with Brexit, and they might say, "Oh yeah, you can hold on to this for us."
Thanks, England.
we're not doing anything with it right now. Just go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, we're the Bank of America now. Wait, there's already a Bank of America.
We're the Bank of Super America.
Yeah. Why not add
We're
that
the
in?
Bank of Donald Trump's
Oh
America.
my God.
Oh, no.
BODTA.
Okay, so now since we're done with the 100-point show, we can hop right into our reading.
Wow.
I know.
What a surprise.
It's incredible.
Well, I have the King James Version of the Bible.
I have the English Standard Version.
And
what-
I have in my possession the New American Standard Bible.
New American. That's a decent Bible. We also have the Holy Scriptures according to
The Masoretic
some
text
Jews.
with the constant
Some-
consultation
Of Jewish
of
authorities.
Jewish authorities
That-
by
that's-
the Jewish
Were they
Publication Society of
constantly
America.
consulting,
Close
and
enough.
kibitzing, and kvetching,
Yeah,
and other
yeah.
okay things
That's
while
what
it
they
was
were
being
doing.
written, saying,
We also
"Oh,
have the new King James Version. We have the Old Testament Survey from the New Interpreter's Bible.
And we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
Yes.
How
and
new was the new King James Version?
What'd you say?
How new is the new King James Version?
Probably not super new. I mean, although this one has some water damage, so it would be
Yeah.
be throwing us off a little bit.
See, the word new has been dated since it was created.
Is that because it immediately became old?
Yes.
This is 1982.
Ooh,
That's
rel-
pretty new.
relatively new, particularly for King James.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Guess it's King James the 56th now.
Yeah, at this point.
Mine was it was made by the Lockman Foundation in 1973, a corporation not for profit in La Habra, California.
Well, that's nice.
That's incredible.
Producers of amplified translations, all rights reserved. So God reserved
Amplified.
all the rights of this text that are reading. And when God comes down and gives us a copyright strike for reading His word, we'll take it up with our lawyers.
We can just say that we were just trying to spread His word.
Yeah.
Because that is technically what we're doing.
We still need to call into the 700 Club.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was such a brilliant idea.
Yeah. We
You
need
should.
to get it.
All right.
Anyways.
So what chapter are we starting with?
We're starting with chapter 17 of 1 Chronicles. Let's get going. Now, it came to pass as David sat in his house that David said to Nathan the prophet, Lo, I dwell in a house of cedars, but the ark of the covenant of the Lord remaineth under curtains.
By the way, my translation says, "Behold."
Behold! Mine also says behold. I was going to point that out, but
Then Nathan said unto David, Do all that is in thine heart, for God is with thee. And it came to pass the same night that the word of God came to Nathan, saying, Go and tell David my servant, Thus saith the Lord, Thou shalt not build me a house to dwell in. For I have not dwelt in a house since the day that I brought up Israel unto this day, but have gone from tent to tent, and from one tabernacle to another.
no, hold on.
Okay.
I know that they were moving the tabernacle around,
Yes.
but wouldn't you still call that the tabernacle and not a different tabernacle?
Well,
Don't know.
yeah, probably.
Or they talk about the ground that gets consecrated as.
Yeah, maybe the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Wheresoever I have walked with all Israel, spake I a word to any of the judges of Israel, whom I commanded to feed my people, saying, Why have ye not built me a house of cedars? Now therefore thus shalt thou say unto my servant David, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, even from following the sheep, that thou shouldst be ruler over my people Israel. And I have been with thee whithersoever thou hast walked,
Jesus.
and have cut off all thine enemies from before thee, and have made thee a name like the name of the great men that are in the earth.
Wait. So the dead people?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess.
All of
People
them.
in Shoal.
Their fathers? Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if you're in Shoal, does that make you a Shoalite?
enough.
If you were born there, maybe.
Can you be born in Shoal?
Maybe. Who fucking knows?
If Shoal is just like normal life,
Then why not?
then why wouldn't you be able to be born in Shoal? Anyways.
I mean, it's
And
dreary
it's
and
not a
depressing.
city in South Korea.
It's
Yeah.
dreary and depressing, and so are children. So
Yeah, children are still born in North Korea.
Oh, South Korea is where Seoul is, right?
Oh.
No, maybe Seoul's in North Korea and Seoul's in South Korea. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
back to the text, probably. We should probably.
Also, I will ordain a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, and they shall dwell in their place, and shall be moved no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness waste them any more, as at the beginning. And since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, moreover, I will subdue all thine enemies. Furthermore, I tell thee that the Lord will build thee a house, and it shall come to pass, when thy days be expired, that thou must go to be with thy fathers, that I will raise up thy seed after thee, which shall be of thy sons, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build me a house, and I will establish his throne forever. It doesn't say establish, it says establish.
Okay.
Establish. I say, and his throne shall be established forever. Now, all right. So you establish a throne. Does that mean that it doesn't mean the throne exists forever?
No, it's just
Have
established.
started it forever, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you say you establish a throne forever, that kind of assumes that it's going to last forever.
Well, there are parts of the Dead Sea Scrolls that don't exist anymore. But they
I'm
were
sure.
certainly established at the time that they were
right,
written.
but they weren't established forever.
Oh.
Wait,
Well, I
And
don't
if
mean
it
to-
was, then they were wrong.
hold
I
on,
don't
Lawrence.
mean to impugn the house, the word of the Lord here, but to my knowledge, the throne is a little bit, its establishment is a little bit problematic today, perhaps.
Yeah,
yeah.
there's some corruption. There's
Some corruption? It's all
there's-
corruption.
It's
Guys,
not.
It's a bunch of killing of innocent
It's
people.
not
That's what it is.
the pure representation of God's will.
But but I will say that I think this is how the apologists would say that the Lord said they would establish it forever, not that the throne would last forever.
Well, I guess we would have to look at originally the Hebrew, but also the fact that I forget the wording used in what is it, 2 Samuel 7, right? That's the dynastic promise, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that it said something about it. Maybe not the words lasting forever, but that it will it'll be around forever.
Yeah.
I think that was the idea, and that's kind of why it was so important. Because it was
So-
forever.
Here's more of David's offspring being Jesus.
Well, the thing is, they're obviously talking about Solomon.
They're obviously talking
Yeah.
about Solomon, but verse 13, I will be his father, and he shall be my son, and I will not take any mercy away from him, as I took it from him that was before thee. But I will settle him in mine house and in mine kingdom forever, and his throne shall be established forevermore.
Okay. See.
Yeah. So there you could say, oh, this is foreshadowing the New Testament.
Yeah,
and
you
Jesus
could
and yada yada yada.
This
You
is
could
probably
say that, but
an
that would be-
apologist note, right?
The thing is, if an apologist tried to use that to say anything about Jesus, it'd be like, no, they're talking about Solomon.
Well, doesn't the Messiah have to come from the house of David?
Yeah.
Oh, well, isn't that
They're
what...
talking about Solomon. Solomon is the one who made the house, coming up next.
Yes, I know, obviously. And according to all these words and according to all this vision did Nathan speak unto David. And David the king came and sat before the Lord and said, Who am I, O Lord God, and what is mine house, that thou hast brought me hitherto? And yet this was a small thing in thine eyes, O God, for thou hast also spoken of thy servant's house for a great while to come, and hast regarded me according to the estate of a man of a high degree, O Lord God.
So I just have a note here.
Yes.
For 17, I have, and this was a small thing in your eyes, O God. You have spoken of your servant's house for a great while to come, and have shown me future generations. And then the note says the meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain.
What can David speak more to thee for the honor of thy servant? For thou knowest thy servant, O Lord, for thy servant's sake and according to thine own heart, hast thou done all this greatness in making known all these great things. O Lord, there is none like thee,
Oh, Lord.
neither is there any God beside thee, according to all that we have heard with our ears. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people Israel, whom God went to redeem to be his own people, to make thee a name of greatness and terribleness, by driving out nations from before thy people, who thou hast redeemed out of Egypt. Wow, it's just like today. For thy people Israel didst thou make thine own people forever, and thou, Lord, becamest their God. Therefore now, Lord, let the thing that thou hast spoken concerning thy servant and concerning his house be established forever, and do as thou hast said. Let it even be established that thy name may be magnified forever, saying, the Lord of hosts is the God of Israel, even a God to Israel, and let the house of David thy servant be established before thee.
So, he's, obviously, God said that he's going to have David's offspring establish this house. But in this prayer section, he's like, do it now. I'm sick of waiting. That's exactly what it comes out to.
He's impatient as fuck.
Patience,
Well, yeah.
patience.
You know, I think every sentence I read out of the Bible makes me a little more misanthropic, because I realize how many people actually believe this.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it's happened, right? Because the word of the Lord said so.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And you
I-
know it
how could
because
I
it's
You're
in
forget?
the
an
Bible.
apologist and a presuppositionalist who has committed intellectual suicide. You rationalize this so it works.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, it's quite possible. It's called Bible study.
God, I hate presuppositionalists.
For thou, O my God, hast O my God, has told thy servant that thou wilt build him a house. Therefore thy servant has found in his heart to pray before thee.
Even though he just said, you won't build me a house, it'll be your offspring.
Yeah. But it's still his servant, I guess.
I guess, but usually in this entire thing, when he says his servant, he's usually talking about himself.
Mhm.
Yes.
So it's kind of ambiguous. But I guess it can be interpreted in that way. It was like, oh, everyone's your servant.
Everyone is his
Yeah,
servant.
everyone's your servant.
Yep. And now, Lord, thou art God, and hast promised this goodness unto thy servant. Now, therefore, let it please thee to
So
bless...
hold on. No, it says, therefore your servant has found courage to pray before you. He's the one praying.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
He's doing a Ross Perot, speaking himself about himself in third person.
well, yeah.
Hooray!
No,
Everyone
he's
loves
not
those.
saying... Oh, no, you're misinterpreting. It says, for thou, O my God, hast told thy servant that thou will build him a house.
Well, I have, therefore your servant has found courage to pray before you.
Yeah.
At the end of 25.
At the beginning of 25.
Okay. So let's read the whole thing then.
Right.
For you, my God, have revealed to your servant that you will build a house for him.
Exactly. He revealed the future about David's
servant.
Uh,
offspring,
Right, but then it says,
and that's what they consider a house,
Okay,
is
but-
their lineage.
therefore your servant has found courage to pray before you.
Mhm.
And mine
So,
says,
okay, this is all very...
for thou, O
This is
my
so
God,
ambiguous.
hast revealed to thy servant
fucking
that
blows,
thou
dude.
wilt build him a house. Therefore thy servant hath found courage to pray before thee.
But when they're talking about the establishment of a house, in this case, they're probably talking about the... well, I guess in this case, they probably would be talking about his own home, not the temple.
Right.
But it could be the temple.
But also,
It's all... Oh, my God. I feel like
Look,
we're spending way
there's-
too much time on this.
anyways, now therefore let it please thee to bless the house of thy servant, that it may be before thee forever, for thou blessest, O Lord, and it shall be blessed forever.
All this forever talk. You lost. Get over it. All right, that is the end
Alright.
of chapter 17.
If you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like,
Yeah,
subscribe.
definitely drop us a like. We very much appreciate that.
And
You might even consider subscribing and certainly telling your friends about it, tweeting, all that sort of stuff. Take
And
a
also
picture
tell
of
your
yourself
enemies.
watching it. All good things.
Friends and enemies
Yeah.
are welcome,
Especially enemies.
especially enemies.
Yeah.
We love
Landlords,
free subs.
professors,
Oh no.
managers.
Okay, so let's hop right into chapter 18.
Chapter 18. Why don't you
Chapter
start
18.
us off, Lawrence?
I shall. After this, David defeated the Philistines and subdued them, and he took Gath and its villages out of the hand of the Philistines, and he defeated Moab, and the Moabites became servants to David and brought tribute. David also defeated Hadadezer, king of Zobah Hamath, as he went to set up his monument at the river Euphrates. And David took from him 1,000 chariots, 7,000 horsemen, and 20,000 foot soldiers. And David hamstrung all the chariot horses, but left enough for 100 chariots.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Why
Why do you
indeed?
use them? Or the iron chariots? Is that right? Or what?
I have no idea. And when the Syrians of Damascus came to help Hadadezer, king of Zobah, David struck down 22,000 men of the Syrians, the millions and millions.
Wow.
That was a reference to The Rock, if you didn't get that.
I don't get it.
Okay, whatever. Then David put garrisons in Syria and Damascus, and the Syrians became servants to David and brought tribute, as is tradition. And the Lord gave victory to David wherever he went. And David took the shields of gold that were carried by the servants of Hadadezer and brought them to Jerusalem. And from Tibath and from Kun, cities of Hadadezer, David took a large amount of bronze. With it, Solomon made the bronze sea and the pillars and the vessels of bronze. So this is obviously much faster, because when we were going over the initial construction, I think it was like 1 Kings 8 or something.
Yeah.
When we were initially going over that, it was so detailed about where to get everything.
Yeah.
And where, and like how it was constructed and lengths and stuff.
Yeah.
This is so
But-
brief.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is a good summary.
Thanks. Wow.
Yeah, thanks, Bible.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Never
Bible.
have that hashtag before.
Yeah. When Tau, king of Hamath, heard that that David had defeated the whole army of Hadadezer, king of Zobah, he sent his son Hadoram to King David to ask about his health and to bless him, because he had fought against Hadadezer and defeated him. For Hadadezer had often been at war with, what is it, Tuau? I don't actually know how to pronounce that. With
Meh.
T-O-U?
Tou.
Tou? Okay. And he sent all sorts of articles of gold, of silver, and of bronze. So this is some good diplomacy here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These also King David dedicated to the Lord, together with the silver and gold that he had carried off from all the nations, from Edom, Moab, the Ammonites, the Philistines, and Amalek. And Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, killed 18,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt. Then he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants, and the Lord gave victory to David wherever he went. This kind of seems like it's out of place.
Why is
That last part.
Yeah.
Because then it just starts talking about Abishai and his takeover of the place. So then he put garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. Okay. So this last sentence here, and the Lord gave victory. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously that's a repetition from right before,
Mhm.
which isn't uncommon.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of repetition.
It just seems like talking about Abishai here is kind of weird.
I think that it's very poorly organized.
Well,
in
I'll
this
agree.
chapter in general. I mean, it's a lot faster than you normally get, but like there's a few things that just don't really.
Maybe you need a better
follow
copy
well.
editor to say, hey, this is kind of repetitious, and just refer to these other things and move on.
So David reigned over all Israel, and he administered justice and equity to all his people.
Wow.
Except when he did.
I don't think he did that.
Wait, what? Mine says executed judgment and justice among the people.
Well, I guess saying administered justice is okay. That would make sense. But equity? No.
Yeah,
I
is
think that's
equity-
a little different. That's
not the same at all.
yeah,
No.
That's chapter 18, verse 14. I'm just going to keep reading here. And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was over the army. And Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder. And Zadok, the son of Ahitub, and Amalek, the son of Abiathar, were priests. And Shavsha was secretary. And Benaiah, the son of Jehodiah, was over the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and David's sons were the chief officials in the service of the king, which would make sense. But the Pelethites, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Pelethites were one of a group of sea peoples.
This one says executed justice and righteousness.
Justice and righteousness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
equity
this is
very
really
different.
weird. First and Second Chronicles are not after First and Second Kings in here. They're after.
Ezra. Wow. Okay.
They're after
Yeah.
everything.
Different order. Yeah, they're at the very
Yeah.
end.
You wondered why I hated reading through that version.
That's not why.
That wasn't why. And you
Oh,
never
I'm
ran
sure there
into
were
that
other
problem.
reasons, but that was a really frustrating part.
Oh.
Yeah, you never ran into it, Chris.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you never
did. I
ran
ran
into
into
that
problems.
problem.
Go rewatch the old episodes.
That's. All right, that is the end of chapter 18.
Do you hear
Pretty quick, Jeff.
some interference?
I do.
from somewhere?
I do. Do you hear anything, Landon?
Some bzzz.
Yeah, something like that.
something,
Hopefully it goes
something
away
like
soon.
that. Hopefully
This
we
never.
get like a signal that it's gone away at some point.
This has never happened before.
No, never. It's never happened.
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know that I support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Wow,
Thanks, Jesus.
Wow.
that was
Wow,
very kind.
Yes.
that's very generous.
Yeah,
He really does turn the other cheek on his enemies.
it really does.
Yeah.
I guess we should just give him the same respect, and
Yeah.
that's why. I mean, it's really nice of him not to just destroy our stream like he did that one time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the end of chapter 18. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, please drop a like. It really does help us out. Subscribe if you haven't, all that good stuff.
Share it with all of your friends, family, neighbors, countrymen,
Homeless people on the street.
ex-wives.
Share it with your tax accountant, with your landlord, with your assistant professor, with the graduate student grading your papers you wrote.
Yes.
All the,
Probably.
I think
that
you
would get-
highly overestimate our audience.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we can jump right into chapter 19. And I'm going to say that's right over to Landon.
Yep.
all right, a nice prime number. Chapter 19.
Of course, it's a prime number.
Now, and by the way, I'm big in. Now it came after this that Nahash the king of the sons of Ammon died, and his son became king in his place. And David said, I will show kindness to Hamun, Haman, I guess. Hamun? Haman.
Hanun, yeah.
Haman, the son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness to me. Oh, that's nice. So David sent messengers to console him concerning his father. And David's servants came into the land of the sons of Ammon, to Hamun, to console him. But the princes of the sons of Ammon said to Hamun, do you think that David is honoring your father in that he sent you comforters to you? Has not his servants come to you to search and overthrow and spy out the land?
Well, that would be consistent with what they've done historically.
It would be consistent, and I completely understand why they're so suspicious.
Yep.
Yeah, well, maybe they actually know the land is already there, and it's like, what else is there to spy on? But anyway, so Haman took David's servants and shaved them. Okay, now.
Yep.
And cut off their garments as in the middle as far as their hips and sent them away. Okay.
Mine says cut off their garments in the midst, hard by their buttocks.
Oh, come on, King James.
So how far did he shave them? Did he shave them into the nether regions?
Well, it says he took David's servants and shaved them and cut off their garments in the middle at their hips. So they just got their dicks and asses hanging out.
Yep.
That's what's going on.
So. And sent them away, right?
Yes.
So much for comfort. Then certain persons went and told David about the men, and he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly humiliated.
I bet.
It must have been the nether regions that they shaved too. And King had said, stay at Jericho until your beards grow and then return. Okay, so maybe it was just the face.
They just shaved their face. A shame. For shame.
Shaven face. Ooh.
Oh, probably the bald too. Okay. And when the sons of Ammon saw that they had made themselves odious to David, Hamun and the sons of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire for themselves chariots and horsemen from Mesopotamia and Aram Mashash from Zobah. And
Mine
they hired
says
for themselves
Syria.
Yours says Syria.
32.
Mine says Syria Makkah.
Hold on. Ruben, what were you saying?
Mine says Mesopotamia and out of Syria Makkah.
Interesting.
And out of Zobah.
Okay. And what were you saying, Landon?
And so it's saying Mesopotamia from Aram Mahash and from Zobah.
Okay.
So they hired for themselves 32,000 chariots, and the king of Maha and his people who came and camped before Medeba, and the sons of Ammon gathered together from their cities and came to battle. All because of these dudes had their nether regions shaved, I guess. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the army of mighty men. And the sons of
mighty
Ammon came out.
men.
Yes?
The mighty men make a return.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally.
Okay, so the sons of Ammon came out and drew up in battle array at the entrance of the city, and the kings who had come there were by themselves in the field.
Something's gonna go down.
Oh man, that's why they need the mighty men.
Now, when Joab saw that the battle was set against him in the front and in the rear, he selected from his choice men of Israel, and they arrayed themselves against the Syrians. But the remainder of his people were placed in the hand of Abishai, his brother, and they arrayed themselves against the sons of Ammon. And he said, if the Syrians are too strong for me, then you shall help me. But if the sons of Ammon are too strong for you, then I shall help you.
Huh?
Oh, nice.
Teamwork.
Be strong. Let us show ourselves courageous, for the sake of our people and the cities of our God, that may the Lord do what is good in his sight.
Which is probably not very good.
Yeah.
Not
So
bad.
Joab and his people who were there with him drew near to battle against the Syrians, and they fled before them. Ooh, they were scared. And the sons of Ammon saw the Syrians had fled, and so they also fled before Abishai his brother, and entered the city, and Joab came to Jerusalem. And when the Syrians saw that they had been defeated by Israel, they sent messengers and brought out Syrians who were beyond the river with Shaphash, the commander of the army of Hadazir, leading them. And it was told, when it was told,
You all right there, Landon?
yes, okay. And when it was told David, he gathered all Israel together and crossed the Jordan and came up upon and drew up in formation against them. And David drew up in battle an array against the Syrians, and they fought against him. And the Syrians fled before Israel, and David killed of the Syrians 7,000 charioteers, 40,000 foot soldiers, and put to death Shaphash, the commander of the army. So when the servants of Hadazir, or Hadazir?
Yeah, I just say Hadadezer. That's
Mine
probably
says
not right.
Hadarezer.
saw
Hadarezer?
that they were
Yeah.
defeated by
Hadarezer.
Israel. They made peace with David and served him. Thus the Syrians were not willing to help the sons of Ammon anymore.
So I kind of feel like, okay, so at the time of the exile,
Rachel points out that having your face shaved
Yeah.
is violation of Mosaic law.
but the issue is at the time of the writing here, yes, absolutely, but the time this is set place in, no. I mean, at least not to my knowledge.
How many
We would have
sin
no record of that.
offerings or purifying offerings or whatever do you have to do if you get your beard shaved off?
I don't know. How many should I, what's
I have no idea. But
I'm obviously sinning against something.
hey, if you haven't seen Landon with a beard, he's a stone cold fox. Let me tell you that.
When I go Antarctic on you, I mean,
Yeah.
2021, December 4th, we're going to Antarctica to see the total solar eclipse. If any people come along, you can join us.
Sounds cool.
That does sound cool. Also sounds freezing.
Terrifying.
Sounds very cool.
Very
Okay,
cool.
so they sent out these guys to comfort them, and they made sport of them and shaved in bits they shouldn't shave and shamed them, and they had this battle, and lots of people died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh, we're sorry, and we'll serve you, David," and that was it.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
interesting thing here is when they were exiled, they pretty much just went along with the exile. They were like, all right, we'll serve you. You know, no need to be so harsh. It's just kind of similar to that. I know it's not really the same thing. Can't really draw a direct parallel like that.
Yes.
But all right, so that was the end of chapter 19.
If you're enjoying the stream so far, why don't you set up an altar and pray to us?
That's a great idea, actually.
Yep.
Or
Especially,
you could contribute to a fund so they can turn something into gold.
Yes,
too.
that's right. Our
Yeah.
666 fund to
Yeah.
turn something into gold
yeah,
through some process.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
ancient
we're gonna
rituals
figure it
of alchemy or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it
We're
out.
going to use a Paracelsian technique.
So chapter 20.
Yes.
And it came to pass that after the year was expired, at the time that kings go out to battle, Joab led forth the power of the army, and wasted the country of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah.
Oh no.
But David tarried at Jerusalem, and Joab smote Rabbah and destroyed it. And David took the crown of their king from off his head, and found it to weigh a talent of gold. And there were precious stones in it. And it was set upon David's head. And
Yoink.
he brought also exceeding much spoil out of the city. So, yeah, kill them all, take their stuff.
Yeah.
And he brought out the people that were in it and cut them with saws and with harrows of iron and with axes. Even so dealt David with all the cities of the children of Ammon.
So
Hold on.
You
Let me
have-
get this straight. He sends a gift to the guy, and the guy's paranoid as fuck going, oh no, this means we're going to get fucked. And then they get fucked?
No, this is a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on. Your translation said, was it the third verse? And
Yeah, third verse. I was going to care about that third verse as well.
yeah, I have and he brought out the people who were in it and set them to labor, with saws and iron picks and axes.
So mine says he brought about the people who were in it and cut them with saws and sharp instruments and with axes.
Mine also says cut them.
Oh yeah, and I have a little note here that says,
Cut them.
Okay. 2 Samuel 12:31. It says compare that.
All right, let's look at Second Samuel.
Okay, you switch to it.
Yes. 2
Um,
Samuel 12.
And David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass after this that there arose war at Gezer with the Philistines, at which time Shibbekai the Hushathite slew Sippai, that was of the children of the giant, and they were subdued. Ooh, we have giants now.
And he brought out the people who were in it and set them to labor with saws and iron picks and iron axes, and made them toil at the brick kilns. And this is also about Rabbah. And what's okay?
Yeah,
So it's the
he
same
brought
thing
out
there.
the people who were in it and set them under saws, sharp instruments of iron and axes, and made them pass through the kickland. Thus, I guess he's not killing them. He's mutilating them.
I don't know, but the thing is, it's really interesting. But in only the First Chronicles version of that do I have a note that says the Hebrew says he sawed instead of put them to labor. So the alternative translation would be he sawed them with saws. But then
This one also says cut them with saws.
interesting. So the Masoretic text says sawed them, and then the Septuagint would say actually no. Yeah. So then the Septuagint would probably be the one to say labor, or maybe they just changed it
I mean,
because it would make more sense.
definitely seems like they're mutilating. They're not killing them, but they're scarring them to shame them. I mean, this is like a
Hazing.
an allegory to the original shaving stuff.
I don't think so. This is more of just. It might be because this is a different group doing it.
Yes.
So it could be just like something to like. It could just be like a power move.
Yeah, being a dick.
Yeah. But anyways, let's continue.
And it came to pass after this that there arose war at Gezer with the Philistines, at which time Shibbekai the Hushathite slew Sippai, that was of the children of the giant, and they were subdued. And there was war again with the Philistines, and Elhanan the son of Jair slew Lami, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, whose spear's staff was like a weaver's beam.
What?
Weaver's beam.
Weaver's beam, everybody. Weaver's beam.
And yet again there was war at Gath, where was a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 24, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot. And he also was the son of a giant. But when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, slew him. These were born unto the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants.
So once upon a time, David killed Goliath. And then Goliath's brothers
Yeah.
were mad.
Whoa.
So they were like, we're going to get you.
and
then
they went
he's
to war.
And then David won against a bunch of giants with deformities.
And Jonathan killed the
All.
six-fingered, six toes on each hand giant. Well, that's a cool story.
Yeah, that's
And
Yeah,
now we
it's-
know why we don't have those in the gene pool
a
anymore.
very short story
Yep.
about how David killed a bunch of giants
Yep.
Yeah.
that no one ever really talks about.
Wow.
There's a lesson there for something.
Yep, it teaches you that
Giants are
you should
bad.
kill giants.
Yeah, you gotta kill those giants. All right, so that is the end of.
Chapter 20.
Yes, that's the end of chapter 20.
And I shall return.
Oh, fine,
You're
whatever.
the one reading this.
If you guys are enjoying the stream, please make sure to drop a like, because it really does help us out. And numbers have been kind of shitty recently.
Well, but
so-
just say if you give a like one of those thumb things, it helps the algorithms. If you tweet it, it helps. If you share it around, it helps.
Yeah, you gotta hack the system. That's what you gotta do. You gotta beat the system. You gotta play the game, but you gotta play it well. That's what you gotta do.
And it
Alright.
helps it get the word out and get more people watching this thing. So I hope that, by the way, I hope the chat's doing quite well today. Little chat.
Chat, say hi to
and-
Landon.
and all that good stuff. So as I say, we've been revisiting yet again David and his foibles and people being mean to people and people taking revenge on people and whatnot. I'm sure there's a really important meaning here, which is don't be mean to the house of David because they'll come and get you.
Just don't be mean to
Oh,
the house of David.
You don't want to mess with the house of David.
So what
Good
else do you
lesson.
think
Good lesson.
is now? When was this written? Was this written while they were in exile? Do you think?
No, this is after. This is after the exile. This is after they were back, and this was they used the Torah and the Deuteronomistic history as sources.
Thank you,
Wow.
Rabash Dabbler, for the 666 donation.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. You
Gonna
are going to
do
Your
some-
mic's
help
off,
them
Ruben.
do something to attempt.
Well, then I guess they didn't hear
Alleged.
my embarrassingly bad pronunciation of the name.
Yeah,
You
right
kind of did through
in
Lawrence's
the background,
mic.
yeah.
You just
No,
zap.
I can't claim any better thing on pronouncing names. But thank you very much for 666 because it'll allow them to attempt to do something to use the alchemic arts in attempt to make gold.
Yes, I always love me some magic. Maybe one day we'll try ancient Egyptian magic.
Maybe.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Doesn't that require us to die first?
It requires someone to die.
Hey, Chris.
What you doing?
What you doing?
Generally living.
How would you like to change that?
No, I'm cool. I'm sure there are more willing volunteers somewhere else.
All right.
Yeah, we'll
so
just
I
go
do
to,
another
like,
question about the
hospital.
first verse of the next
Infirmary.
chapter.
So you're proposing that we steal a body from an infirmary
Yeah.
and that we do ancient Egyptian magic with it?
Yes.
Wow, that's the most sane thing I've ever heard you say.
What if you did it? What if you did it with a virtual body?
Oh well, I don't think that would work.
Because they don't have souls.
Yeah. They don't have a ka and they don't have a ba.
Yeah.
They need those.
But if someone's dead, does the body have a soul?
Wait, if someone's dead, then what?
Well, if the person's dead, then the body doesn't have a soul. So.
Oh, it still does. In ancient Egypt, it still did.
Oh.
Yeah. The thing is, the soul the ka part of the soul could walk around in the tomb, and like he could go he could like teleport from the body to the statue, Like that's why they put those eyes of Horus. They're called Wadjet eyes. They used to put those on coffins so the soul could see out. Yeah,
And that's perfectly reasonable.
Totally.
And logical.
All right.
So let's hop right into chapter 21. Oh Jesus! Then Satan stood against
Whoa,
Israel.
whoa! Where?
So
Where the hell
Huh?
did this come from?
Satan means adversary, just so you know. It's not a name; it's a title. Just so we get that straight.
Thank goodness, because otherwise this would have been very confusing immediately.
Yeah.
Satan's just there.
Yeah.
Here he is, guys. The final boss.
Yeah. So
showing up.
yeah, like Rachel said, I have the accuser instead of Satan. Like it means like accuser, adversary, the enemy.
Still scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
so there's a reference to 2 Samuel 24.
Is there really?
Verses 1 through 25, and that's the area in 24. This is the pestilence stuff. So okay. Anyway, yes. So the adversary, right? Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting that they use the word Satan there. I imagine there's lots of apologists saying, "See, the evil dude stood up against Israel."
Yeah. Oh, and to answer Ragabash's question on could the Ka use a stuffed animal as an effigy, it could if the stuffed animal looked like the dead, like if it had the face of the dead.
Oh, so it's got voodoo-like properties.
Oh, you mean like one of those skull animals that are at Hot Topic or were a long time ago,
Did they put like people's faces on them?
I mean, they had like a little skull in the front.
But did they put specific people's faces on them?
No, but it was of the dead.
Okay, but it had to have their face. It had to be recognizable to the Ka, because apparently the Ka couldn't it had a lot of trouble seeing. So it needed to be like very very close.
What if they had like extensive plastic surgery and they...
Dude,
Well, would it use
this
the
is
original
not
face?
Egyptian mythos.
Or
You're just saying
Would
stuff.
it use the plastic surgery face?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Do dogs go to dog heaven? Stupid fucking question.
So anyways, then Satan stood against Israel and,
Wow.
and incited David to number Israel.
6.
See now this is where some of these folks who think the census is evil, right? They point and say Satan. See, Satan got in David's head.
I mean, although they kind of did a census before in Numbers, didn't they?
Totally.
Yeah, when they
That's
were
why it was called
Numbers. Yeah. To number Israel. So David said to Joab and the commanders of the army, "Go, number Israel." He's listening to Satan here. But who do you think the adversary is?
Ooh,
Satan.
I
Who do you
think
think
it's
they're referring to?
I think it's the evil spirit from God from earlier.
Yeah, that's right, that evil spirit. Well, let's keep reading, maybe we'll find out.
Should really have dealt with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So David said to Joab and the commanders of the army, "Go, number Israel from Beersheba to Dan." Which, remember, this one says Beersheba to Dan. But remember earlier, last week, we were covering his range, and it went down to like Egypt or something.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah. But now he's like, no, we don't want that.
Yeah, no.
Now it's left out of there.
Yeah.
And bring me a report that I may know their number. But Joab said, "May the Lord add to his people 100 times as many as they are." So what I'm finding interesting, what I think has happened here, is he doesn't want to count. So he's going to make up a number, a really big number, and say that it's 100 times more than the actual number. And just say, we have so many.
That's not fair.
I agree, it is not fair. I think he's lying there a bit.
Yeah.
Are they not, my lord the king? All of them my lord's servants? Why then should my lord require this? Why should it be a cause of guilt for Israel? First of all, who said anything about guilt?
No one.
Okay, he's just assuming
Why,
that's going to be
mine
guilt.
says, why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel?
Of trespass.
Yes.
Numbering people, that's bad news, because Satan, was the one that stood up.
But the king's word prevailed against Joab, because he's the king. So Joab departed and went throughout all Israel and came back to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the numbering of the people to David. In all Israel there were 1,100,000 men. So if we think that God actually made 100 times more,
Then there's like
1,100 men.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
No, it's 10,000.
Would it be 10,000?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it would be 10,000. You're right.
It's
Sorry.
11,000.
My bad.
That's still not as...
That's not that much.
No, it isn't.
Men who drew the sword, and in Judah, 470,000 men, or 4,700.
Yeah.
I noticed that the women and children don't count.
No, they do not. Who drew the sword. But he did not include Levi and Benjamin in the numbering, for the king's command was abhorrent to Joab. Okay.
Well, what about the half tribe of Manasseh? Did they get counted?
Right, yeah, like you think about that. They're including the half tribe, but not Benjamin. I know we know Benjamin had its problems in the past.
Yeah.
And I mean the Levites are...
Well, how are you even going to take a census of the Levites?
There's just too many of them.
But God was displeased with this thing, and he struck Israel. And David said to God, I have sinned greatly in that I have done this thing. But now, please take away the iniquity of your servant, for I have acted foolishly. And the Lord spoke to Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and say to David, Thus says the Lord, 3 things I offer you. Choose one of them, that I may do it to you. So Gad came to David and said to him, Thus says the Lord, choose what you will. Either, gives a good ultimatum here. 3 years of famine, 3 months of devastation by your foes, while the sword of your enemies overtakes you, or else 3 days of the sword of the Lord, pestilence on the land, with the angel of the Lord destroying throughout all the territory of Israel.
Why?
So either no food, get destroyed, or
Get destroyed.
Disease, pestilence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for what reason, right? So they went out and did this census. Okay.
Yeah.
What's so terrible about that? Is it because Satan?
Yes.
No,
probably
it's
he
because
listened to an enemy.
it's because Joab didn't take the numbers of Benjamin and the Levites.
Or
They
or it's
fudged
'cause
the
he lied.
numbers.
Yeah, or maybe they fudged the numbers. There are lots
Yeah.
of reasons why.
Is it because they multiplied the numbers, or they counted half tribe of Manasseh as full people, or what? I mean, what's the what? And of course, why is it being done to Israel that were counted, and not to the dude? Why didn't they say you have 3 years of being hungry, or 3 years of people bothering you, or 3 days of pestilence on you? Why is it Israel has to suffer because David
Fucked
listened
up.
to Satan?
Because
Oopsie.
because the exile, that's why.
Oh.
because they thought that's how things went. If people did things wrong, the entirety of the people would fall.
So when they have census in the nation of Israel today, do people come up and point at this thing and say,
I don't know.
the
That's a
prime
good
minister is
question.
doing bad things and listening to Satan by numbering us?
I have no idea.
That's a good question. They probably have some argument about it was because they were listening to
Didn't
the enemy or
God
or
say that
Satan.
they would be innumerable in how many people they had, and that's why, maybe? I have no fucking clue.
That was I know what you're talking about, but I definitely think that was supposed to be hyperbolic.
Well, if it wasn't,
Then this is a problem. It's like,
This
no,
is-
you were not supposed to count them. I
No.
specifically said that.
Yeah. Carry on.
Now decide what answer I shall return to him who sent me. Then David said to Gad, I am in great distress. Let me fall into the hand of the Lord, for his mercy is very great, but do not let me fall into the hand of man. So the Lord sent a pestilence on Israel, and 70,000 men of Israel fell. So if he said he doesn't want to fall to man, he wants to fall to God, couldn't that also be a famine?
Yeah.
Well, but then he said, don't let it to me. But so God goes and kills 70,000 people in a pestilence, like a plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what? Numbering them, and by the way, did they count the number of people that died, and therefore they?
Oh
didn't
no!
census?
Don't count the number of people that died. He'll just kill more people.
And God sent the angel to Jerusalem to destroy it. But as he was about to destroy it, oh no!
Cliffhanger.
It's
Deus ex Deus.
Yep. But as he was about to destroy it, the Lord saw, and he relented from the calamity. Wow, he changed his mind. He was like, holy shit, I have killed so many people.
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
Wisdom of the Lord. Yes, there you go.
My bad. And he said to the angel who was working destruction, it is enough. Now stay your hand. And the angel of the Lord was standing by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. I don't know who that is. And David lifted his eyes and saw the angel of the Lord standing between the...
Oh, somebody's mic died. It's not you, Lawrence. Is it?
No.
Is
No,
it who?
it's Ruben.
It's not me.
Oh, it is.
Oh, he's got a...
Yeah, on my end. I got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So if Chris is... Sorry, if Ruben's... I should have said Chris's friend Ruben.
Yeah.
So if...
We screw that up
Yeah.
all the time.
Yep. So while that's going, I really hope it's my mic that's still working.
Your mic works fine. I see you on here, buddy.
Okay, good. All right, then in that case, I will continue. David lifted his eyes and saw the angel of the Lord standing between earth and heaven, and in his hand a drawn sword stretched out over Jerusalem. And then David and the elders, clothed in sackcloth, fell upon their faces. That's going to be a theme a lot too, falling on your face in the presence of the divine. And David said to God, was it not I who gave command to number the people?
Okay.
It is I who have sinned and done great evil. But these sheep, what have they done?
These sheep.
Please let your hand, O Lord my God, be against me and against my father's house. But do not let the plague be on your people.
That's what Ruben said.
So again, what is so bad about numbering people? I mean, when they go and they kill, but they say, "Oh, they killed this many people, this many died." They're numbering. I mean, so what's the big deal?
I don't know. I have absolutely
They
no
broke
idea.
a rule?
No, they didn't though.
Oh.
What rule?
No.
That wasn't a
in,
rule.
the
That
New
was
rule.
just God
New
saying.
rule.
Leviticus that says you shall not number anything because it's full of numbers. Where's the book of Numbers? I mean,
No, it's
and,
that.
and of course, the dude who ordered it isn't the one that, because it said 70,000 people fell.
Yeah.
Right? All this calamity. I mean, come on.
And none of it went to David, at least not yet.
Yes.
So I don't understand why. I might actually want to
Maybe he
look
lied.
into this.
You know, it's the lying. Who knows?
I'm gonna actually write this down. Pestilence of David, and I'm gonna look into that because that's actually kind of interesting.
What's and I'm sure that there's been fallout from this afterwards with various census people, the various folks that consider themselves sovereign citizens and all that sort of stuff. They probably are people saying, God said you shouldn't number it, so no census people. But
I don't remember a sovereign citizen ever saying that. Maybe Ken Hovind uses that, but I haven't heard him say it. But that seems like something he would do.
Maybe
yeah,
Gord
they number the
said
people going into
something
the
about
ark,
it.
so hey.
All right.
Let's hurry up.
Yeah. So this little section, the chapter isn't over, but the section ends with you killed so many people, and then you noticed how many people you killed, and you felt really bad about it. So please stop killing my people. Let me suffer instead, because I did it, not them. But we still don't really have a. And he calls his own people sheep.
Yes.
Which is just hilarious to me. And with this angel standing over the city with this giant sword.
Mhm.
How cool must that have been?
It's like an anime.
Yeah, it is like an anime. Like what's that anime with the huge fighting giant robots? Right? Isn't there one of those?
Yeah, there's one
Like,
of those.
yeah, just one.
Fine, you're right. Okay, I
Only
don't fucking
one
know.
has ever existed.
What is it? Gundam? That big one?
Gundam's a
Yeah.
big series, yeah.
Okay.
There's Gundam.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the one.
Good job. You know, let me do the references
Yeah.
to popular culture since you seem to be so bad at it.
I don't
in
know
this
shit.
category.
I don't know
at
shit
least.
about anime.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
know
guys.
shit.
Sorry, everybody. Now the angel of the Lord had commanded Gad to say to David that David should go up and raise an altar to the Lord on the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And Rachel pointed out that he's the guy who owned the threshing floor where the temple we built on. So David went up at Gad's word, which he had spoken in the name of the Lord. And see, here's something. Okay, so he learns that he listened to someone that he should not have listened to.
Yes.
And that he understands now that he did a bad thing.
Yes.
But he is instead going to now listen to another person telling him to do something else, and it's building an altar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, you know, at the beginning of the verse it said Satan stood up against Israel and moved David, right? It's not like David said, hey, why don't I do something evil and count people? I mean,
Yeah.
this makes no sense.
Uh,
This whole thing makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
So, where the hell was I? Now, Ornan was threshing wheat. He turned and saw the angel, and his 4 sons who were with him hid themselves. As David came to Ornan, Ornan looked and saw David and went out from the threshing floor and paid homage to David with his face to the ground. And David said to Ornan, "Give me the site of the threshing floor, that I may build on it an altar to the Lord. Give it to me at its full price, that the plague may be averted from the people." Then Ornan said to David, "Take it, and let my lord the king do what seems good to him. See, I give the oxen for burnt offerings, and the threshing sledges for the wood, and the wheat for a grain offering. I give it all." But King David said to Ornan, "No, but I will buy them for the full price. I will not take for the Lord what is yours, nor offer burnt offerings that cost me nothing." So David paid Ornan 600 shekels of gold by weight for the site. And David built there an altar to the Lord and presented burnt offerings and the peace offerings and called on the Lord. And the Lord answered him with fire from heaven upon the altar of burnt offering. Then the Lord commanded the angel, and he put his sword back into his sheath. At that time, when David saw that the Lord had answered him at the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite, he sacrificed there. For the tabernacle of the Lord, which Moses had made in the wilderness, and the altar of burnt offering were at that time in the high place at Gibeon. But David could not go before it to inquire of God, for he was afraid of the sword of the angel of the Lord. So this is a very special place. Because obviously, high places, bad thing. But now here's this new place. This new place that's going to be the temple.
Yes.
It's not a temple yet. It will be, I think it's in the next book, actually. Yeah, I think in the next book, that's when it becomes the temple. So it's just interesting so far.
Yes.
Oh, that's still going with that. All right, so that is the end of chapter 21, and that's also the end of our chapters today.
Hooray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
That's everything that we had to do
It
today.
still makes no sense, but hooray anyway.
Whoopee.
I'm just happy that we don't have to hear about that particular bullshit anymore, because that sound
Which particular bullshit?
this last chapter's particular bullshit.
Is it not written in the canon of the Chronicles of Narnia or something? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it would be, but this is one behold day, just one.
Yeah,
behold.
isn't that sad?
No, it wasn't not written. Just a
Well, no, I
behold.
think those are I think they're over.
I think
At
those
least
are gone.
The chronicler
Yeah,
is a totally
I don't know how
different
many
guy.
beholds you're going to have further on down in the Old Testament.
I think we're still going to have a good amount, especially when we get to the Psalms.
I'm also gonna start having amens. Those are
Yeah,
gonna show up.
We're going to have a lot of amens.
Yes.
I think we should find a great way to say amen.
Ah,
Oh.
man.
Amen.
No, like, ah, man.
We could get a meme out of that.
We could try. We'll come up with some interesting way to do it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's right. Be upset
We'll
about
figure
that.
it out.
Yeah. But that's the end of the show for today. If you guys enjoyed the stream, please drop a like because it really does help us out.
And if you didn't enjoy the stream, please drop a dislike. It really helps us out.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely
And-
does.
And if you want to help us out, you could really help us out.
You can help us out.
That would really help.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, I saw Nightbot in the chat once
Oh,
or
good.
twice maybe.
Hooray.
Yeah.
There's links to everything in the description.
Yeah, links to everything in the description. Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Teespring, because we got those new shirts.
Yep, we got those shirts
Yeah.
ready for you.
And then one last thing before we go. Sherm Journal,
Sherm Journal.
obviously, they have their first paper out. Or sorry, not their first paper. Their first journal, their first volume.
Yes.
So you can go to shermjournal.org, and if you don't know, that is a historical journal that we are partnered up with because
Do they have our ad in there?
yes, they
Ah,
do.
Excellent.
Yeah, our ad is in there, in their first issue, which I think is hilarious.
Yes.
We made it look like a paper, so people would read it and then accidentally midway through realize this is an ad. I am reading an ad.
Yes.
So I think it's pretty interesting, and I'm gonna have to be reading through some of those papers. Some of them look better than others. I'll be honest.
Well, that's every journal.
That is every
Welcome
journal,
to
you're right.
reading things.
Yes. Well, welcome to content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it's bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Did you pop up our shirt image?
Oh, yeah, we have a new shirt, too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I did do Sherm Journal. I just put that back there. But there's also our Rubidium and Laurentium Host 1 and Host 2 t-shirt.
Yes.
Here's the
Excellent.
art for that.
And anything else? Oh, right. I'm working on the final episode of Forged Fiction on Revelation,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I only have
talking about textual history and stuff.
Yeah.
one more exam
So
left.
consider becoming a Patreon, please, fine folks. You get
Yeah.
nice benefits.
You get the scripts also. All
Yes.
$1 patrons get scripts, and also after the show we're having our Patreon hangout.
Yes.
So if you have the time and money to become a $20 patron, you get to be included in these hangouts every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Daniel
Along
Turner,
with all the other stuff.
who thinks that atheists reading the Bible is a big circle jerk.
Even though we have a bunch of scholarship right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a debate about numbering people and Satan and threshing floors and all this sort of stuff. It's useful commentary to actually read it without all of the apologists.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to put
Use
this
it.
stuff in its historical context because it can't be understood without it.
I
Yes.
would
Exactly.
I wouldn't degrade the circle jerk to this level.
I mean, I've seen bigger circle jerks.
And so anyway, so becoming a Patreon, just in terms of if for all your shilling stuff, I'm going to be a keynote speaker at the XP 2018 conference. So if you're in Montreal, you can check out my little talk. I'm doing also a seminar there. And I guess you should also say, hey, subscribe to Pimp Monk. He's a nice guy. Subscribe to the Gig Room. They're also nice folks. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
thank you everyone
everyone
for
go
joining us.
buy your tickets to Montreal now.
That, yes, absolutely. All right, so thank you everyone for joining us. Landon, as always, thanks for coming on, and stick around for the Patreon hangout.
And we will see
you
next
next Sunday.
Sunday. Pew, 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 pew.